The alien forces had been sweeping through the galaxy, conquering planets one after another with ease. They had no real challengers until they set their sights on Earth. Earth, the so-called deaf world, the perfect target for an invasion. The planet was home to creatures that were vicious, unpredictable, and resilient. But to the aliens, these were mere annoyances, nothing more. They had never encountered a species with the potential to fight back, or so they thought. As their ships descended onto Earth's surface, they expected a quick and easy takeover. The alien commanders, with their advanced technology and overwhelming numbers, couldn't fathom any threat from the primitive humans. They believed the human military would offer some resistance, but they had no idea what true resistance looked like. John Harper had seen the alien ships in the sky. He had been preparing for this moment his entire life. A survivor of Earth's unforgiving landscape, John was a man shaped by the planet's brutal conditions, a product of a world where every creature, every plant, and every force was out to kill. Earth's harsh environments had molded him into something more, a warrior who thrived in adversity. He wasn't a soldier by training, but a hunter, a tactician, a survivor. While alien forces began to deploy troops across Earth, John had already begun his counteroffensive. His knowledge of the terrain was unparalleled. From the deserts to the forests, from the mountains to the cities, he knew every inch of Earth like the back of his hand. More importantly, he knew how to use it to his advantage. It wasn't just his skills in combat that set him apart. It was his mind. John was a master of guerrilla warfare, exploiting the environment, setting traps, and using nature itself as a weapon. The first few alien scouts, deployed to assess the situation, didn't stand a chance. They were used to facing predictable, conventional resistance. They never expected a lone human to attack them from the shadows, to strike without warning and vanish before they could retaliate. John was everywhere and nowhere. He didn't fight fair. He didn't fight according to any rules. He fought to survive. Word of the human who seemed to be everywhere spread quickly through the alien ranks. They had underestimated him, and now they were starting to realize the extent of their mistake. The aliens, once confident in their superiority, began to question whether this was just a fluke. But John wasn't finished. This was just the beginning. In a world where every step could be your last, where every day brought new dangers, John had honed the skills necessary not just to survive, but to dominate. The aliens, with all their technology, were slow to adapt to Earth's brutal conditions. They were caught off guard by the fierceness of the terrain and the unpredictability of the human they were now facing. John wasn't just fighting for survival. He was fighting for something bigger. The aliens may have thought they could crush humanity in a matter of days, but they hadn't considered the human spirit, the unyielding will that burned within every soul on Earth. And now, with one man standing against them, the alien invaders were starting to realize that their conquest of Earth was no longer a certainty. John Harper wasn't just a survivor of a deaf world. He was humanity's answer to the alien threat. And he wasn't going to stop until every last invader had learned that a deaf worlder was not to be underestimated. The alien commanders, now fully aware of the threat posed by John Harper, began to shift their strategy. They had anticipated an easy victory, but now a single human was systematically dismantling their forces. Their initial confusion turned to frustration, and soon the pressure mounted. This human wasn't just a nuisance. He was a problem that needed solving, and quickly. The alien commander's first response was to send in reinforcements. Their strongest soldiers, elite units equipped with the latest in alien technology, were dispatched to eliminate the human. But these soldiers had never encountered anything like Earth's environment, let alone a human who had been forged by it. John knew the land better than anyone, and he knew how to make it work for him. John wasn't just fighting with guns or knives. He was using everything around him. In the dense forest, he used the trees and underbrush as cover, setting traps that the alien soldiers walked right into. In the deserts, he lured them into the scorching heat, where the alien armor's cooling systems failed, leaving them vulnerable. The aliens might have superior technology, But they weren't accustomed to Earth's deadly wildlife or terrain. John was. He knew how to turn every feature of the planet into a weapon, be it the terrain, the weather, or the animals themselves. In one particularly intense skirmish, John lured a squad of alien soldiers into a canyon, where he had set explosive charges on the canyon walls. As the aliens ventured deeper into the narrow gorge, John triggered the explosions, sending rocks crashing down on them. What they didn't expect was the avalanche of debris and the precise, calculated strike that followed. John didn't just incapacitate them. He eliminated them completely. His guerrilla tactics had begun to take their toll. The aliens, now realizing they were fighting on Earth's terms, found themselves outmatched. The human resistance, though still small, was starting to grow in response to John's actions. As word spread about his victories, more people began to see the possibility of survival. They had witnessed their cities fall, their military forces crumble, but now they saw hope. John Harper had shown them that even against overwhelming odds, humanity could fight back. His success wasn't just about brute strength. It was about resilience, strategy, and the refusal to give up. Resistance cells, previously scattered and disorganized, began to come together. They were inspired by John's actions. If one man could stand against the invaders and hold his ground, then maybe there was a chance for all of them. John's message, though simple, was clear. Fight, adapt, survive. His victory in one small town led to the creation of a network of fighters, using similar guerrilla tactics to weaken the invaders. The tide was starting to shift, but the aliens weren't naive. They had underestimated humanity once, but they wouldn't make that mistake again. As John's small victories began to spread, the alien commanders understood they needed a new approach. Their strategy became less about quick dominance and more about containing and overwhelming the human resistance. The final push was coming, and they believed they had the numbers and firepower to crush it. What they didn't know, however, was that John Harper wasn't just a thorn in their side anymore. He was a symbol of everything they had underestimated in humanity. Every encounter, every ambush John orchestrated, further proved one thing to the aliens. The human spirit was unbreakable. The Earth may have been a death world, but it wasn't one they could easily conquer. With each passing day, John Harper's war was becoming humanity's war, and the alien forces were realizing that what they were up against wasn't just a world. They were up against a species that could adapt, survive, and ultimately, when the alien forces, now rattled and desperate, understood that their initial invasion plan had failed. Despite their superior firepower and advanced technology, they were losing ground to a single human. John Harper had become more than a resistance leader. He had become a symbol of Earth's defiance. The aliens' arrogance had blinded them to the nature of their adversary, and now they were paying the price. The final battle was imminent, and John knew this would be his last stand. If he fell, humanity's hope would crumble, but if he succeeded, the alien invasion would be over. John had tracked the alien commanders' movements for days, studying every detail of their fortified base. He knew that to defeat the invaders, he would have to strike at the heart of their operation. The alien commander, a cold and calculating leader, had grown increasingly frustrated with John's ability to thwart their attempts at domination. He underestimated the human resolve and had begun to take the threat of one man far too lightly. This would be his last mistake. As John infiltrated the alien base, he moved with deadly precision. He knew he had only one chance to strike. Every misstep could cost him everything. The air was thick with tension as he navigated the high-tech facility, evading the alien patrols and slipping past their security systems. His mind was sharp, his body ready. He wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for the survival of humanity. Each step was measured, each decision made with cold efficiency. The alien commander awaited him, confident that the traps he had set would snare the lone human warrior. But John was too clever for that. He didn't rely on technology or brute force alone. He used his environment, his wits, and his human ingenuity. The commander's traps failed one by one. Alien soldiers fell, overwhelmed by the relentless human who refused to stop fighting. The final confrontation came in the command center, where the alien commander waited in his fortified bunker. He had expected John to approach in a predictable manner, direct head-on, but John was always one step ahead. The alien commander's arrogance led him to underestimate the human, and now it was too late. John crashed through the command center's doors, a force of nature in the flesh, and the battle began. The commander's advanced weaponry proved to be useless against John's raw power and unrelenting determination. The two clashed in a brutal exchange. John's fists against the alien's technology, each blow a testament to the years of survival instincts he had honed on Earth. The alien's precision weapons couldn't match the sheer unpredictability of John's attacks. The human was faster, more adaptable, and driven by something the aliens couldn't understand: the will to survive. John's experience in hand-to-hand combat and guerrilla tactics had given him the edge. The commander, for all his power and resources, couldn't counter the primal fury of a human fighting for his world. With a final, decisive blow, John struck down the alien commander. The alien forces, watching their leader fall, began to falter. They could not comprehend what had just happened. Their overwhelming numbers, their technology, their superiority, all of it meant nothing against the will of a single human who refused to back down. The commander's death was a turning point. The remaining alien forces, now in disarray, scrambled to retreat, but it was too late. Their morale shattered. They turned tail and fled, leaving Earth behind. The victory was John's, and by extension, it was humanity's. The alien invasion was over. The cost had been great, but Earth had survived. John Harper, the Death Worlder who had stood alone against impossible odds, had driven the invaders off his planet. Humanity, once thought weak and insignificant, had proven its strength. The aliens learned too late what it meant to underestimate a species that thrived on a death world. John's victory would be remembered as a turning point in human history, a testament to what humans could accomplish when pushed to the brink. As the alien ships retreated into the stars, the message was clear. Earth would not be conquered. Humanity had won the war. And with that victory came the knowledge that no matter what challenges the future might hold, the spirit of Earth's people would never be broken.